So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining our event today. My name is Maria Grigoratou and I'm the Executive Secretary of the European Polar Board and leading also the communication package of POLARIN. And together we also have Kylie Owen, who's an officer at the European Polar Board and the officer of the European Polar Coordination Office. She will take over all the questions that you might have on the chat and moderate the chat and the online setup. I would like to share my screen. Good. Yes, POLARIN is a very big Horizon EU-funded project that aims to give transnational access to research infrastructures in both Arctic and Antarctic. And the meeting today is to give you a short overview about the POLARIN, the project itself, then a short overview of our Second Transnational Access Call to research infrastructures, and then present some of the research infrastructures that are available through the POLARIN network. And that includes research vessels, core repositories, polar station, observatories, and data infrastructure. Not all of these infrastructures presented today are offered in this specific call. The aim is just to give an overview of the variety of the infrastructures that are available. Then we're going to have a short view of a new system that the POLARIN project launched yesterday, the POLARIN GIS. And we're going to finish this event with a short Q&A session and some information about upcoming events for the second call that might be of relevance and interest to the people who like to apply. So I would like now to give the floor to the project manager, Veronica, to give us a short overview of the project.
Thank you very much, Maria. So my name is Veronica Willmott, and I work at the Alfred Wegener Institute. I'm the project manager of this enormous project we have here, POLARIN. Next one, please. So as Maria said already, POLARIN is a project funded by Horizon Europe with 15 million euros on research infrastructure services to address the challenges of the polar regions. The coordinator of this project is the Alfred Wegener Institute in Germany. We currently are 54 partners, and we are offering access in total to 64 research infrastructures. Next one, please. We are building on the work of previous achievements in other EU projects, so we are not starting from scratch. There are very important projects that were setting the stones on transnational access, such as Eurofleets and Interact, providing access to research vessels on one side and Arctic stations, followed by ARISE, Aquarius, and now is POLARIN, giving access to both marine and terrestrial research infrastructures in both regions. Next one, please. So the overall aim of POLARIN is to provide efficient and customized research infrastructure services to address the scientific challenges. Note that the challenges are described in the POLARIN call, and including the access to a wide portfolio of complementary and interdisciplinary top-level research infrastructures. We will see today a little snapshot of very key infrastructures that are for offer available in this call and on future calls as well. And that give a unique opportunity because they are not only Europeans, they are infrastructures that you most likely will not be able to access if POLARIN will not be here. Next one, please. So POLARIN has overall three objectives. One is to integrate and combine the access to Arctic and Antarctic research infrastructures, to improve the online services, data access and interoperability, and also to ensure that the new generations are trained to exploit and lead these key research infrastructures. Next one, please. As mentioned, we provide access to 64 infrastructures. Next. From them, transnational access is provided to research stations, polar vessels, observatories, and ice and sediment core repositories. This is fully funded access to these research infrastructures for research projects that are addressing the key research questions in the polar region. So you need to, in the project you write for us, you need to justify how you will address these key questions using this one or several of these key research infrastructures. Next one, please. Transnational, so we offer two types of access. One is the transnational access, next one. And the virtual access, sorry, one back. The transnational access can be in person. That means that the team go to the research infrastructure and get the data themselves, or remote, when technicians that are already at the research infrastructures are getting the data that the research team needs. And virtual access is access to data that has been already collected and is not currently public. Next one. This is just a little snapshot so that you see how many research infrastructures we have, how they are distributed. We have 38 in total research stations, 27 located in the Arctic with a big hub in Svalbard, the north, of course, Finland and Sweden. In Greenland, we have also another very big hub. Next one, please. In the Antarctica, we give access to 11 research stations, with the biggest cluster in the Antarctic Peninsula, where most of the stations are located, but also in Drowning Mouth Land and Victoria Land and Wilkes Land. Next one, please. We have a total of 12 polar vessels. Note that in this call, we are offering access to POLARIN in the frame of Antarctica in Sync, this very big initiative to coordinate measurements and data collection in Antarctica, and also access to the Tara Polar Station, which is a very unique infrastructure, which is going to be deployed in the Central Arctic and continuously getting data from this region. Next one, please. We also give access to a total of 18 observatories, most of them associated already to the research stations, but they have data collected for many, many years, which is available to you as well, and also to the Deep Sea Observatory FRAM, which will be presented today. Next one, please. We provide access to samples that have been already collected from ice cores and from sediment cores from 4 repositories. Today, 2 of them are going to be featured. Next. And regarding the data products, we will provide, or we have already delivered, a single entry portal to access data from different infrastructures. You can reach metadata, data, and data services from there. We are coordinating and harmonizing and optimizing the integration of data services to this portal, such as well the virtual access, and we will create data products with data that has been already collected. Next one. We have as well another of the last pillar we have in POLARIN is the training for users. That is for all of you that are willing to access the infrastructures, with training for early career scientists and professionals. We are providing as well training on data stewardship and also a safety training on polar regions. So how to survive and make your team survive in case something happens, which nobody wants. But of course, everybody needs leading expeditions should have this training in compliance with the Polar Code. Next one, please. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Veronica. And now I would like to give the floor to Hannele Savela, who is the POLARIN Transnational Access Coordinator and is based in the University of Oulu, Finland.
Yes, thank you very much. And many thanks, Maria, for arranging this event. It is really nice to present here. So I will tell you a little bit about this second POLARIN Transnational Access Call that just opened yesterday, the first day of September. And here you can see some key dates and time schedule for the call. So as I mentioned, we opened yesterday at noontime, and the call will close on October 30th, so the second last day of October, at 4 p.m. Central European Time. We are going to communicate the access decisions to the applicants in mid-March 2026. And then in April, we start the negotiations with the successful projects. Next one, please. Some information on how to apply. So we recommend that you start by visiting the Transnational Access Call page, which is located as a sub-page on the POLARIN website. And there on the call page, you find information on, for example, the call description and topic, eligibility criteria, the access modalities available in the call, the infrastructures offering access, evaluation and selection process, and then about this issue that Veronica mentioned the last, related to InSync and TerraPolar station, and that is the endorsement requirement for the projects. Visit newly launched POLARIN GIS system online tool to identify the research infrastructure that is best suitable for your study. And then, of course, it's very important that you familiarize yourself with the guidelines for applicants. That really compiles all the necessary information that you need to prepare a successful application in the call. And these guidelines are available on the TA call web page. And then all the applications should be prepared and submitted via POLARIN Transnational Access platform. You have the link there, and you will hear a presentation about that today as well, I think, a little bit. Or at least in the September webinar. Maria, please go ahead. Okay, some words about the research infrastructures offered in this Transnational Access Call. So altogether 42 research infrastructures out of these 64 in POLARIN are offering access in this second Transnational Access Call. And the research infrastructure types offered include Antarctic and Arctic terrestrial stations, and associated observatories, and also research vessels. So altogether 10 Antarctic research stations, 25 Arctic research stations, and 7 vessels offer access in this call. And 2 access modalities are offered, in-person access and remote access. And virtual access is separated, and it's all the time available in this single entry point. Then something new that I wanted to bring into your attention, and we are going to launch this a little bit later in the autumn. So we are going to organize a separate call for sample requests to ice and sediment core repositories, to these 4 repositories that we have in POLARIN. And this will open up later in autumn, most likely in the beginning of November. And that is why these repositories are now not offered in this current call. Next one, please. Just couple words about these eligibility rules. What is different compared to the first POLARIN Transnational Access Call? So as you can see, we have 7 different eligibility criteria, and these we are always checking after the call is closing and before the only eligible proposals are proceeding to the scientific evaluation of the proposals. But I wanted to highlight this first eligibility rule that is a little bit different now compared to the first call. And it is this part A, namely that the user group leader and majority of the users in this call, applying in this call, must work in an institution based in European Union member state or Horizon Europe associated country, with the exception of user groups led by Ukrainian researchers from government-controlled territories. And this is because we have a threshold so that European majority user groups led by a non-European user group leader is limited to 20%. And we cannot exceed this threshold, and that is why we are now controlling, and only European-led user groups can apply. Next one, please. Then I wanted to highlight these key research priorities because these are really important when you are applying transnational access. So the proposals supported for transnational access must contribute to addressing at least one of the following key research priorities in the polar regions. There are 7, you can see them listed here. And when you are applying, you must select one or more of these key research priorities, and then also justify in your own words, how does your project contribute to these key research priorities. It is also possible to indicate contribution to 3 additional priorities. It is not like an evaluation criteria, but it is, of course, beneficial for your proposal if you are able to tick one of these boxes. First one is ESA, Polar Science Cluster relation. Then second one is Antarctica in sync. And the third one is this Terra Polaris. And more information about these key research challenges or priorities can be found from the TA call page. Next one. Then we are approaching the end of my presentation, and I wanted to mention or highlight to you that we are going to arrange a specific information webinar for the TA applicants. That is going to take place on September 18th at 10:30 to 12 Central European Time in Zoom. The link is provided here. And you can see the program includes introduction to POLARIN project and activities. And then we are going to really dig into the Second Transnational Access Call and the guidelines for the applicants. And then also you are going to get a short introduction to this POLARIN Transnational Access online application form. That is a very important tool for you when you are working on your proposal. Next one.
Great.
And that's it.
Thank you very much, Hannele. And I think it was a really nice summary of useful information for future applicants. And now I would like to welcome, I also before I do that, I want to say many thanks to Hannele because she's leading Work Package 2. It's all about these calls. And she's also been one of the key leaders of this brokerage event we have today. And now I would like to give the floor to our colleagues that they will represent some of our research infrastructures that are available in the POLARIN network. And I would like to start with Andrii Fedchuk, who is the head of Scientific and Technical Information Department at the National Antarctic Scientific Center in Ukraine. And Andrii, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maria. Dear colleagues, let me briefly overview Ukrainian key infrastructure facilities. It's an ice-class research vessel Noosfera. Next slide, please. Yeah, it's not a new vessel. It is a former legendary Royal Research ship James Clark Ross, which have been operated by British Antarctic Survey for 30 years, and the government of Ukraine purchased it for the needs of Ukrainian Antarctic program in August 2021. Vessel was named Noosfera. This term has a strong link with the works of Professor Volodymyr Vernadsky, after whom the Ukrainian Antarctic Station is named, and I'll talk about the station a little bit later. Next one, please. The main capabilities, facilities, and equipment are shown on this slide. In general, a vessel can accommodate up to 46 scientists. Its autonomy of up to 2 months allows conducting research at any point of world ocean, not only the polar regions. In addition, the vessel is equipped with the dynamic position system and cool specimen facilities, which are very important for specific fields of research. And someone joked in our office that one of the key features is a kitchen on board, due to Ukrainian staff and well-known Ukrainian hospitality. Next one, please. However, to be serious, I would like to highlight the possibility of sampling with a cable length of up to 7,000 meters, which is quite a unique feature indeed. And nowadays, research vessel Noosfera is a flagship of Ukrainian research fleet. Laboratories and other scientific spaces are available for national and international research activities, offering a mobile platform for world-class biological, oceanographic, and geophysical research in the polar regions and beyond. That is why we are looking for a proposal within POLARIN project, and you are welcome on board. And maybe let me stop here and save a few minutes for presenting Vernadsky Station a little bit later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrii. And here you can see also the contact information for the vessel. And now I would like to give the floor to Alejandro Font from the Instituto Antártico Chileno, who's going to give a short presentation on behalf of the Karpuj team. Alejandro.
Thank you very much, Maria. Okay, so Karpuj is part of our platform since 2013. Used to be a patrol vessel here in the subantarctic region. Used to work through the Magellan Strait and the channels and fjords. So knows a lot of tough environments. So in order to be able to work in Antarctica, INACH put a lot of effort to, as you said, overhaul the structure and the equipment. So it has been working the last, I think, since 2015 in Antarctica. So it has a lot of experience through the western part of the peninsula. You can move, yes. So it's a small vessel, it's 24 meters long, but it has all the equipment that are needed for oceanographic research. So we have a CTD, which is a SV25 plus, which is connected to the Rosetta. It allows you to work with, we also have a thermosalinographer, which is a SV45, which is connected to a Starlink, so you can remotely be connected to the thermosalinographer, which is good if you want to keep following the conditions of the expedition. It has an A-frame, and you can use different throws. We have vertical, bongon throws, mid-water throws you can use, ISAC kit and tacker throw, which are really good for krill and fish work. The vessel, well, the ship is equipped with EchoSound. It's a Simrad 8060 with 3 frequencies, so you can work with krill or fish for acoustic transects. So one really nice thing of Karpuj is you can work with high resolution transects through the western part of the peninsula. The area of work of Karpuj is from King George Island to Ambers Island, is about 400 kilometers long. You can work all around the Shetlands, which is really interesting to work in different bays and do bathymetric mappings. So you can move one more, please. Yeah, so if you are interested to work with Karpuj, you can contact Andres Lopez, which is our deputy director, and he will put in contact with us, and you can find more about the equipments or the place where you can work with Karpuj.
Thank you very much, Alejandro. And now I would like to invite Megan Clampitt. I also want to apologize in advance to everyone who I mispronounce their names with my Greek accent, and please feel free to correct me. So Megan, she will give a short presentation of the Le Commandant Charcot. Megan?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan. I manage the science program at Ponant. So Ponant is a French cruise ship company, and the Commandant Charcot is our polar exploration vessel that we offer berths on board to scientists. So the vessel goes to the Arctic and to Antarctica. Now it's alternating on different years. So for each POLARIN call that the itineraries will change slightly, but we do revisit the same locations. And so here is kind of an overview of the vessel where there's different scientific equipment that is available. We have a meteorological and oceanographic recording station. There's cameras on board. We're able to measure ice thickness. And last year we installed a rosette as well so that we can do sampling in the water column. We also have a ferry box on board that collects data continuously throughout all the cruises when there's not ice in the water. So this gives kind of an overview of the vessel. And just again, Ponant is a tourism company. So it's important to keep in mind that the itineraries that we offer are really dependent on the activities proposed to the passengers. And so typically when the boat will stop at a station, there'll be usually on average 4 hours of time to work at that station. We are lucky that our captains are very flexible and they do help out with the science program. So they will occasionally make special stops for scientists, but it's just something to keep in mind that there is a level of flexibility that's required if you're interested in coming on board the Charcot. Can you go to the next slide, Maria? And so here we have on board the boat, we always have a science officer who his job is basically to act as the link between the onboard team, the captain, the staff captain, the hotel director, the expedition leader, et cetera, and the scientist. So he can help you with all of the equipment, helping plan presentations, using a Zodiac, any of the different needs that you would have on board. We do have a staff member that's dedicated to helping the scientists achieve their research objectives. And then we also have dedicated spaces on board that are open to science program. So notably, we have a wet lab, which you can see in the first picture up on the top left, which has access to the water. There's a door that opens out to the water. But here, this is where the ferry box is. This is where the ice core is. This is where other equipment is that's available. Also a space to set up the different scientific equipment. As well on this page, you can see some of the different equipment that we have on board that's on offer and kind of the different locations on the boat, which was more so visible on the previous slide with the global overview. But we do have a moon pool. There's the rosette, as I said. The ferry box is available, a pyranometer, and then the wet lab, which is kind of the overall location where that's available. And then if we go to the next slide, we also have a dry lab, which you can see again in the top left kind of photograph there. The picture is kind of small, but essentially there's lab bench space, and we have hoods that are available. There's also desk space to set up a computer and to work. And we're planning on renovating this next year in April, so we'll have a slightly larger lab space that's available to researchers as well as kind of more area to do computer or desk work as well. And here again, sorry, here's the picture of the ferry box and the ice thickness measure. We also have an ROV that's available. So this is kind of just a quick overview of the different scientific equipment that's on board the Charcot and that we have available. And I did not put my email address on the slide, so I'm sorry about that, but I'll put it in. Oh, thank you. So if you're interested in getting in touch, yeah, that's the email address, the generic email address, which is science@ponant.com. And we have a document that provides more in detail all of the equipment that's available on board that I can send you, and different itineraries of Ponant. More details on the itinerary are available on our website, and the details are also available on the POLARIN website as well, specifying which itineraries that we have available to scientists.
Great, thank you very much, Megan. And that was
Thank
the short overview of some of the vessels that POLARIN Network has. And now we're moving forward to the core repositories. And I would like to give the floor to Amie Jackson, who is the Head of Strategy and Transformation of the British Antarctic Survey.
Thank you, Maria. Good afternoon, everyone. So this afternoon, I'm going to talk about our polar sediment core facility that we have available at Cambridge as part of the POLARIN grant. So next slide, please. So just to provide a little context to starters, what are sediment cores for anyone that doesn't know? So they're tubes of sediment that are collected from the bottoms of oceans or lakes. And the analysis that's conducted on these sediment cores allows us to look tens to thousands of years out into the past, and we can look at what the climate and the environment was like at the time that the sediment was deposited. So the Polar Sediment Core Facility at Cambridge holds cores collected across Antarctica, the polar regions, and the subantarctic islands. So next slide, thank you. So the Polar Sediment Core facility that we have in Cambridge, it really is the repository for polar marine, terrestrial and freshwater sediment cores. Anyone that might be familiar with the Boscor facility, which stores cores from other locations, it works in a very similar way. So it includes cool and frozen core storage, and as well as a suite of analytical equipment available. There is also a database of sediment cores that's available through the Natural Environment Research Council Polar Data Centre as well, and that can be found on the internet. Next slide, please. So in terms of equipment that we have available in the laboratory, I'll just do a very quick run through and then I'll just focus in on one of our key pieces of equipment. So from a storage perspective, we have +4 and -20 walk-in storage spaces for cores and sediment material as well. And we have a core splitter where we can use that to open up the cores for description, imaging and sampling. And we also have the ability to carry out high resolution images of cores through the core imaging suite of equipment as well. We have an extracting fume hood, class 2 cabinet, and we have high temperature furnaces as well as ovens and drying cabinet. We have a freeze dryer, Miller-Q system, a diatom settling rack, which we can use for further analysis. Into some of the more sort of specific instruments, we have an Elementar Vario EL cube, which allows us to carry out analysis of bulk soil, sediment and biological samples. A Mastersizer 3000, which allows us to carry out grain analysis and sortable silts. We have various microscopes to allow better sample viewing. We have the multi-sensor core logger, which is an instrument that allows us to measure density, porosity, and magnetic susceptibility of our samples. A Vanta XRF sensor, which allows non-destructive X-ray analysis. And we have also a variety of other equipment, including an ultrasonic bath, microbalance, shaker table, water bath, UV lamp, hot plate, and a magnetic stirrer. So that's, like I said, we have a broad range of equipment available in the laboratory. If we move on to the next slide, I'm just going to focus in on the multi-sensor core logger, which is a new instrument that we've had over the last couple of years. And it's an instrument that allows continuous non-destructive analysis of physical and chemical properties of sediment core. Next slide, please. And this instrument is it's a containerized instrument that allows us to move it between our research vessel, the Sir David Attenborough, and the laboratory in Cambridge. The instrument accepts any kind of core material, so that includes whole or split core samples, and whole or split unconsolidated sediment samples as well, and that comes in plastic or metal liners. And it can log core sections of up to 1.55 millimeters and a maximum of up to 150 millimeters. I think the important thing to note about this particular piece of equipment is it's entirely non-destructive. It creates a permanent digital record of the sediment for future reference, future analysis, and particularly for any samples that are scheduled to be destructively tested. It means that we can still continue to do analysis on that in the future. So a really valuable piece of equipment that we have available in the core facility now. Next slide, please. So if you are interested in using the sediment core facility in Cambridge, please get in touch. We can talk about specific equipment that you might be interested in, when that might be available, make sure it doesn't conflict with when it's being used on the research vessel. But please do contact me on the email address there, and we can put you in touch with the right people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amie. Now we're moving forward to another core repository, and I would like to invite Hannele to give this presentation on behalf of our colleagues who couldn't attend here today.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to present this UIT Core repository and geological laboratories. And I have to say that unfortunately, even though I have visited Tromsø, where this core facility is located, I have never visited this core facility myself because there are quite many research infrastructures in POLARIN. But what I can say after collaborating with this facility is that they are extremely helpful and responsive. And I'm sure that any questions that you will have, remaining after my presentation, they will answer for sure very fast. Next one, please. Okay, so this UIT Core repository and geological laboratories located are operated and hosted by the Department of Geosciences, and it is a long-term storage facility dedicated to the preservation of cores and samples collected in marine and lacustrine environments. And this repository really serves as a vital resource for researchers and educators in the field of geosciences, also beyond that, and providing access to a wide range of cores and samples. The samples are mainly collected in the Norwegian region, but also a little bit wider in the Arctic region. Next one, please. Here you can see a couple images from the core facility, the repository and the geological laboratories, both taken by Fabio. I guess it shows how these cores are stored. And then some key features of the repository. So the collection there is really extensive. The archive consists of over 5 kilometers of cataloged cores and samples. And the size and temperature requirements include 2 refrigerated rooms at +4 degrees Celsius for a total of over 200 square meters in area. And then additionally a freezing room that is approximately 25 square meters. For monitoring, there is a control room that receives real-time alarms in case of power outages. Storage temperature is increasing, and if there are other cooling and freezing system failures, so the system is very secure. And then, of course, the catalog, and this is a web map that allows search, of course, and information, and there you find a link to this catalog. The repository is primarily aimed at researchers and academics and students within the geosciences community, and now also available for access through the POLARIN Transnational Access program. Something about the facility access and use. For safety reasons, the repository has restricted access and its use is not permitted without a permission. And possible visitors will be escorted by an authorized staff member. And access and use of cores and samples for the laboratory analysis or work is subject to application. And the repository contents and the service really is mainly provided in English. So that is not a problem for most of us. Then next one, please. So overall, this research infrastructure offers the visiting scientists access to cores and laboratories, support for measurements, subsampling, and multi-proxy sedimentological geochemical analysis of soft sediment cores. And a couple images from this Polar Magic Lab and then from the laboratory. Next one, please. And if you are interested in using or applying access to the UIT Core repository and geological laboratories, please get in touch and contact Fabio. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hannele. And now we're going to move forward to the research stations. And here we'll also like to say, please add your questions in the chat or the Q&A session, and we will address them at the end of the presentations. So now I would like to invite Vanessa Spadeto, who is also a member of the Interact project manager, and she's working on the POLARIN Transnational Access, where she will give a presentation about the Adam Mickiewicz University Polar Station on behalf of our colleagues.
Yes, hello everyone. So I will present the Adam Mickiewicz University Polar Station Petunia-Buca, also called AMUPS. It has a long experience, few years experience in offering transnational access, and it's open for access in this call for the field season, Arctic field season 2026 from June to September. So you can go to the next slide. So here you can see the facilities of the station, which is located in Svalbard. It has, of course, communal areas. You can sleep there, and you can go to the next slide. As I was saying, it's located in Svalbard, specifically in Spitsbergen. It's quite easy to access. It's 5 kilometers from Pyramiden. The research started in the area already in 1984, but the station was built in 2011 on the eastern side of Petunia Bay, but then moved to the western side of the bay. And you can move to the next slide. So here you can see some information how it's structured, the station. So it's 3 containers with a total area of 40 square meters, plus a seasonal tent hall that is used as a warehouse. It can host up to 8 to 10 people in the summer and 4 people in the spring. It's equipped with the internet connection. They have Starlink, in-reach communication, and the HV radio. They also have solar panel installation and power generators, self-burning toilet, and Zodiac, both available for guests and researchers. You can go to the next slide. So I'm sorry that the presentation doesn't have a lot of information, but the station manager is very available to respond to your question. Christoph Riemer, you can find here the email address, and if you're interested for access, please email him.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vanessa. And now I would like to invite Niels Hoidman, who is the interim station administrator at the Arctic TTU Simunit at Technical University of Denmark, where he will present us briefly the Arctic TTU research station.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. And the next slide, please. Yes, we are affiliated to DTU, the Technical University of Denmark, having a research station in Dissemination on the west coast of Greenland, where we are in a joint venture with KTI, the Technical Vocational School of Greenland, and the government of Greenland, running a campus with Arctic engineering educations that we conduct within this agreement. So actually we differ many ways from the typical research station part of this Interact collaboration, since we are situated in the second largest town of Greenland, Sisimiut, which is a large modern Arctic community, having all the facilities available that you usually cannot find at a research station remotely placed. So we are actually in a very different situation, where we have to more seek the remoteness while having all the facilities available in town. But that also makes us relevant for different kind of research areas, which are maybe not usually so well seen or so often seen at the other research stations. I could highlight one thing that makes our research station and the place interesting, since it is the place just at the end of the Arctic Circle Road, and a newly opened Arctic ATV track between Sisimiut and Kangerlussuaq. To those of you who know Greenland, this road goes just through a very large area that is suitable for a lot of different kinds of research, terrestrial research, and then again having the research station placed in this town of Sisimiut, we can also through that offer cross-disciplinary research opportunities very easily. Next slide, please. So we are open and staffed year-round at this station. We have a very much different kind of facilities available, both as for accommodation and what is needed in that connection, as for internet, etc. We do have a campus building where we have several offices available for also guest visitors, guest researchers, meeting facilities and catering, etc. And can even in that regard also allow you to hold meetings and smaller workshops or conferences even, which is of course, not the typical activity for a researcher seeking a research station, but just again to mention that we do have kind of a large variety of facilities available for researchers. So and to that end, we also have, since we have this close collaboration with the Vocational School of Greenland, we can offer a lot of infrastructure available also for guest researchers, as for equipment, field equipment, outdoor equipment as tents, and so and laboratory and workshops also available that are also used for our educations in Arctic engineering, as well as for this Vocational School of Greenland. So that makes it very broad as for what we can offer as for the infrastructure. But one thing that we'll also highlight is that we do have a very high level of local engagement through our collaboration in Sisimiut, which also is extended to other parts of Greenland, which can be of relevance for researchers who want to conduct research, not only within humanities and social science, as what could be of relevance in the town of Sisimiut, but also as for getting access to the more remote areas, the countryside, where you would often need some local involvement. And we do also highlight the need for kind of helping you, bringing back the knowledge you gain and the data you collect, also to get it more to bring it back to community, so to speak. We do have a lot of focus on that, and are very open to help you with that as well. Next slide, please. So if you sum up our facilities, it is kind of something that you can only be suggested to contact us and present your ideas and thoughts and what is your aim of your research, and then we can most likely help you with what is needed. And if it's not some of the things listed here, we can also give you help you with contacting local contractors who do also have facilities, logistics available for research. So next slide, please. So yes, if you want to get access to our facilities, or if you want to visit our place in Sisimiut, you just feel welcome to contact me, and I will do what I can to help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Niels. And now we're moving forward to another station, and I would like to invite Leifur Janus Hansen, who is the head of Department of Terrestrial Zoology at the Faroe Islands National Museum, to present us the Call to Research Station.
Thank you. Just next slide. Yeah, the Coulter Research Station is located on the island Coulter, which you can see on the map on the left-hand side, on the top there. It's in the Faroe Islands, an archipelago, which you can see on the lower left-hand side with a little square where the island is located. The archipelago of the Faroe Islands is located between Norway, Iceland, and Scotland. And the island of Coulter is only 2.5 square kilometers in size. The research station itself is one of the old dry stone wall buildings that you can see on the image there, the one in front. But we have also use of several of the other buildings there. The station is run by the Faroe Islands National Museum, and this small restored settlement is also part of the historical exhibition of the museum. It sounds like a strange mix, but it works. But we will start building a more modern research station on the island next year. So if you want to experience working and living in this 1850s farmhouse which still has all sorts of modern amenities like electrical appliances, and it even has floor heating, so it's quite comfortable, then this is your chance. And I can for certain say that pretty much everyone falls in love with this place when they visit and work here. Next slide. There are several benefits to this station. It is isolated in the middle of the Northeast Atlantic Ocean, so it is a potentially important data point if you, for example, are interested in migration or species distribution. There is very easy access to marine, freshwater, and terrestrial ecosystems. The station itself is maybe 50 meters from the sea. The island itself is about 478 meters high, so you will find within a quite short distance gradients in elevation, aspect, moisture, and even mammal herbivory. So there is a mosaic of habitats like in the close vicinity and on the island. And there are also other interesting opportunity to research. For example, the museum is in the process of creating a new sheep grazing regime. So it is possible to maybe include that in your studies. And there are also several species of birds breeding very close by. And in the case of the European storm petrel, they even breed inside the walls and under the floorboards of the research station. And just surrounding the station, there's also a high density of common snipes. And there are seabirds like puffins and fulmars, and they breed on the slopes and cliffs that you can see in this picture. There are obviously also other species. Next slide. And yeah, you can see some images here of research being done by the staff at the museum on the island here, and also visiting researchers. And well, back up one. Can you go back one slide?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It is only a few years ago that the museum decided that the island should partially be a nature conservation site. So the museum and the researchers there are really eager to assist whenever there's a chance to get more data on the island. And just for basic data, you can definitely make a difference as a visiting researcher, because relatively few studies have been made of the terrestrial and freshwater flora and fauna in the Faroes. A baseline study of the biodiversity of culture during the last 5 years resulted in 50 new species for the Faroes, for the whole country. So, like, one study can actually make a huge difference for like the knowledge of biodiversity of the country. It should also be mentioned that nobody lives on the island, but there's always at least one caretaker located in a different facility. There is public access to the island, but no public transport. So sometimes there are groups of people coming to visit during the daytime. Both they and any visiting researchers come by boat or helicopter. And yeah, if you're interested in visiting, then please contact me. And also on this slide, the previous slide there, you could see a link to our website, which explains a bit about the nature of culture. And on the right-hand side, there's also a link to the previous mentioned results of the baseline monitoring project that we had. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to invite Vanessa to also present the Nikolaos Copernicus University Polar Station on behalf of Irene Sopota, who could not join us because she's on the field work at the moment. Vanessa?
Yes, I'm here. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. So here you can see the station and where it's located. It's also located in Svalbard, in the western part of the Oscar II land, in the northern part of the coastal Kafjorda lowland, which is close by the Forlandsundet from the west. Can you go to the next slide? So the research in Svalbard has essentially covered all the components of the geographical environment, but with a particular focus on glaciology, glacial geoformology, permafrost and periglacial processes, and climatological studies. The glaciology studies cover mass balance of the change processes, glacier dynamics, glacier surge, glacier climate interaction, polar hydrology, subaqual extent change records in the four fields of marine type glaciers, and shoreline changes of and others. So they are very specialized in glaciology, as you can see. Here are some images, also cute ones with a polar bear from the station and from the fieldwork. They're also offering access in this second call of POLARIN. You can go to the next slide. So about permafrost, the permafrost investigation are instead focused on the depth of the summer active layer, thawing, and the thermal properties of it. Selected research results are part of the World Glacier Monitoring Services, so they are also contributing to large initiatives, international initiatives. Several research aspects are investigated for 50 years, so it's a long-term monitoring as well, and a well-established station since the first expedition in 1975. Next slide, please. So here you have a very nice map of the area around and what is available to study there. The NCU Polar Station at Kafjorda is a unique place where scientists can explore nearly all key Earth system processes, from glacier to permafrost to the atmosphere, ocean, and Arctic ecosystem. Next slide, please. The station is used 3 to 4 months annually, but it's possible to stay there as long as all year. It is equipped with essential technical infrastructure ensuring independent operation in the high Arctic. Power supply is secured by motor generators supported by solar panel, while motorboats allow access to glacier, fjords, and research sites along the coast. The station also offers storage facilities, laboratory space for sample preparation, communication system, and safety equipment necessary for work in polar conditions. For safety and logistics, the station is equipped with satellite phones, enriched devices, ice survival suits, and other protective gear, as well as reliable access to the internet. So, as you can see, it's very well equipped station. You can go to the next slide, please. The station can host up to 15 people at one time, providing accommodation and working space for both short-term and long-term research teams. The facilities include common bedrooms, 2 additional bedroom entressols, a study, and a workshop. This setup allows for efficient organization of scientific work and comfortable living condition. Next slide, please. Maria, please, can you go? Yeah, thank you. They are also doing a lot of events at the station and collaboration. You can see that at their website. Here is some example. If you go to the website, the URL that is on the bottom right, you can see more information about this. Please to the next slide. So you can have also the email address of the station manager. That is Ilinuska Sobota. He's also a very active person and always very responsive. So if you have more information that you want about the station, or you want to apply for access to the station, please email him. Also very cute chiefs.
Great. Thank you very much, Vanessa.
Welcome.
And moving now to the Antarctic stations, I would like to invite Christina Alpsik Petersen from the Research who is a research coordinator and researcher at the Norwegian Polar Institute, to give us a short presentation of the Troll Research Station.
Thank you, Maria. It's a pleasure to be able to present the Troll Research Station to this community. So the Norwegian Polar Institute, we also provide access to Svalbard, a New Ålesund Research Station, Sverdrup, and the research vessel Kronprins Haakon through this call. But now I will concentrate on our southern infrastructure and the Troll Research Station. So Troll has a very unique location, centrally in Dronning-Maudland. It's located more than 200 kilometers from the coast, at around 1,200 meters above sea level. So it's neither at the coast or at the inland plateau, and it has a very unique location at the slope. I'll come back to this unique location on my third slide. So Troll Research Station is operated by the Norwegian Polar Institute on behalf of Norway, and we accommodate for research from Norwegian and international researchers at our station. So we have a year-round manned station. We opened the year-round station in 2005. So we're there with a group of 6 or 7 overwinterers. And in the summer season, we can accommodate for between 10, maximum up to 15 researchers. So at Troll, we are a starting point for both biological, glaciological, and geological fieldwork during the summer season. And of course, it's a full year base for continuous long-term monitoring series. So in this picture, you see Troll located at the bottom picture down there. So it's located at solid ground in contrast to many other of the Antarctic station. So it's here on the mountain chain Utelsessen. So next one, thank you. So to get to Troll, normally you fly from Cape Town. So Norwegian Polar Institute operates an airfield some 7 kilometers from the Troll station, and there is about a 6-hour flight from South Africa to come to Troll. So at Troll, we offer both board and lodging. We can offer some local transport, either with this belt wagon you can see or snowmobiles. We have some basic support for researchers, both in terms of personnel and technical assistance. We can offer field equipment. We have a storage facility, workshop, and some limited lab facilities. And there's medical assistant. So you can see here the infrastructure consisting Troll Research Station is several container modules. The one to the upper left here in blue and red color, that's the lodging facility. And the main station building is the big red one. We are on the Norwegian side now discussing to build a new Troll Research Station at the same location, and that is something that will be decided by the Norwegian government in 2027. Next one. So at and around Troll now, the Norwegian research community is building up what we call the Troll Observing Network. It's a big network of mainly observatories, but also shared infrastructure services and a data management system, giving access to data to everybody. So we are building up 8 different observatories measuring the entire Earth system from the upper atmosphere with the ionospheric observatory, the Integrated Cloud Observatory, and the Atmospheric Composition Observatory, measuring clouds and pollution in the atmosphere. And we have an infrasound array. Moving on to the solid ground, we're setting up a seismic array, and we have 3 observatories dealing with the interaction with the marine and the cryosphere. So we have rigs in the ice shelf, in the Fimbulisen Ice Shelf Observatory. We have rigs out in the ocean on the multidisciplinary Ocean Mood Observatory, and we have a biology observatory with the seabird monitoring at 2 colonies close to Troll. And we're also setting up a remotely piloted aircraft system, a drone service that will be available for researchers from 27 and onward. And we're setting this up now, and it's only a couple of the observatories that are not up yet. So we're very happy with this, and this is, of course, is a main part of the activity that we have at Troll, and that we invite other researchers to come in and utilize. So more information about the Troll Observing Network at this webpage. So if you're interested in using Troll, please get in touch. So I'm managing all of NPI, the Norwegian Polar Institute activity in POLARIN, including Troll Research Station, but I also have people in staff that can help answer questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christina. And now I would like to invite again Andrii Fedchuk, the head of Scientific and Technical Information Department of the National Antarctic Scientific Center, to present us the research station they have in Antarctica, Academic Vedansky Station.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, another key Ukrainian Antarctic research infrastructure is a permanent year-round Vernadsky Station. Next slide, please. Yeah, it's a former British Faraday base, which was transferred to Ukraine in 1995. So this year we celebrate 30 years anniversary of Vernadsky Station. And you see we have a really good relationship with our British colleagues. Next slide, please. Vernadsky Station, located in the middle of West Antarctic Peninsula, where the climate change is dramatically visible. In this regard, Vernadsky Station, with one of the longest continuous series of meteorological data since 1947 and one of the 10 most important reference ozone stations in Antarctica, contributes significantly to Antarctic observance systems, and therefore we believe importance of its baseline data would only increase. So what are the main advantages and scientific potential of the station? Please, the next one. Yeah, first of all, Vernadsky Station is a crucial reference point for long-term monitoring of the impact of climate change in Antarctic ecosystem due to its exceptional location, as I already mentioned. Then, moreover, well-equipped and multi-purpose geophysical observatory as a station enables comprehensive monitoring of environmental parameters and processes at all layers of Earth, from tectonosphere to upper atmosphere and geospace. Station consistently monitors meteorological processes, magnetic field, ionosphere, ozone layer, seismic observation, and share this data with international monitoring system and a global database like WMO, Intermagnet, global seismographic networks, and so on. In addition, Vernadsky Station is important for biological research, primarily to study region and biodiversity of terrestrial and marine ecosystems in Antarctica, their adaptive variability, and forecast ecosystem transformation under the influence of climate change. Besides a fully equipped infrastructure, station has well-developed transport accessibility and experienced staff for year-round expedition. Most of them joined expedition several times. So to conclude, Vernadsky Station operating as an Antarctic science hub is expected to play its pivotal role in facilitating collaborative research with other partners, including those organizations that currently do not have their own polar infrastructure, but seek to carry out research activities there. So that's it, and we are always open for for any interesting and promising projects. And welcome to Arnavski station. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrii. And that was the end of the snapshot of the research stations that the POLARIN network has. And now we're gonna present one of the observatories that is included in the POLARIN network. And I would like to invite again Vanessa to give a presentation on behalf of the FRAM team that who they couldn't join the meeting today.
Yes, so FRAM stands for Frontiers in Arctic Marine Monitoring Observatory. It's the only observatory that is offshore in POLARIN, but it's also special because it is the only deep sea observatory in the Arctic. So next slide. The goal of FRAM Open Ocean Infrastructure is ambitious, is to maintain a permanent presence at sea from surveys to deep ocean in order to deliver near real-time data on the Earth system dynamics, climate variability, and ecosystem change. Next slide, please. So what it is in practice, FRAM is doing year-round observation in the FRAM Strait and in the Central or Arctic Ocean. It performs physical, chemical, biological observation on the sea ice, but also from the sea surface down to the seafloor up to 5,000 meters depth. It is installed at the gateway between the North Atlantic and the Central Arctic, and is positioned in one of the most climate sensitive and rapidly changing regions of our planet. Please, next slide. So by continuously observing this region, FRAM aims to advance the understanding of the ocean circulation and water mass changes, track the impacts on sea ice retreat, assess consequences of the Arctic marine ecosystem, their function, and the vital services they provide. And ultimately, FRAM will contribute to both national and international efforts to better understand, predict, and respond to ongoing transformation in the Arctic. Please, next slide. If you're interested in using FRAM, please get in touch with Martina Lopp, who is the operator of FRAM.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. And now we will present one of the data infrastructures, and this is from Vanessa again, who is working at the Interact project manager, and she's going to present the Interact data portal.
Yes, so I'm presenting the data portal as an example of data infrastructure offered in POLARIN. There are several others one. So the Interact Virtual Access Single Entry Point, also called Interact Data Portal, is a data portal that allows you to get access to free open data sets from all around the Arctic, but also on boreal and alpine regions. You can go to the next slide. So the Interact Data Portal is one of the tools that is developed by Interact. A quick introduction on Interact. What is this? Stands for International Network for Terrestrial Research and Monitoring in the Arctic. It's a network on 99 research stations all around the Arctic, boreal, and alpine region. There are also 21 Russian stations that are currently on pause. And Interact started as an EU-funded project in 2011. I developed a set of tools, which one of these is the data portal, but also Interact GIS and also the Transnational Access platform, including the POLARIN TA that we are using for applying for access. Now Interact ended as a funded project and is coordinated by the Interact No-Profit Association. You can go to the next slide. So going in depth with the data portal. So the data portal is based on metadata harvesting from several organizations and sites, for example, Pangea, but also sites, which are publishing the data with endpoints to the real data, so that are collected at the different Interact research station. It includes near-time, real-time observation data sets, but also unique historical data digitized and provided for open access. You can go to the next slide. So this is an example what you can find in the data portal. What type of data you can find? Long-term monitoring data series, near real-time observation data, but also unique historical data. So data sets that have been collected in that specific time and place, but they could be still useful for your research as well. Of different variables related to earth and life science, for example, about climate and weather, permafrost and ground temperatures, hydrology and water system, ecosystem and biodiversity, and glaciology and terrain mapping. So this is how it looks, and you can go to the next slide. How does it work? As a metadata harvesting is not publishing or storing the real data, but is offering points to it. So you can look for a specific station or specific variable in the search label, how it's called, a function of the data portal, and it points to the real data where you can download the data. So it's useful if you're interested in finding data sets about the interactive observation stations, or if you're looking for data about in the Arctic, Boreal, and Alpine station. It's a one-stop point to get access to data, so you don't have to look in different places. You can go to the next slide. There is a new feature for topics coming soon, so the developers are working on upgrading the data portal, which it will be also integrated in the POLARIN Data Hub. So to improve the user experience, there will be also topics. So these will be released with the next version of the data portal, and it's actually quite amount of work that we've done, because we have tried to integrate machine learning algorithm to do that by taking in the information from the dataset description. It does the data categorization based on topics. You can go to the next slide, where you find my email. So if you want more information about the data portal, you can contact me.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. And thank you everyone for giving these short presentations of the research infrastructures that you presented today. And also thank you very much for being respectful of the time. We're actually a bit earlier, which is nice because we can have more time for the Q&A session. But before we do that, I would like now to invite Elmer Topp-Jørgensen, who is a special advisor at Aarhus University, Interact Coordinator and Coordinator of the POLARIN GIS, where he can present to us a little bit this new platform that POLARIN launched, the POLARIN GIS platform.
Well, thank you, Maria. Could you let me share my screen?
Yes, I think
Perfect.
you can share your screen.
I just sent a request.
Can you try again?
Yes, here we go. So it has been really interesting seeing all the nice infrastructures in POLARIN presented here today. So what I'm going to present now is Interact GIS. No, sorry, the POLARIN GIS, which is a continued development of Interact GIS. This system was launched yesterday, just in time for the launch of the TA call. And this system is about terrestrial research stations in polar areas that are members of POLARIN. So this is a tool where research stations can share information about their station facilities and the surrounding environment, and that will allow scientists to search for stations that suit their specific scientific needs. So this system is built on information already gathered by Interact, but also in ComNab, in their ComNab station catalog. So this really builds on the efforts of previous projects and organizations. Station managers have access to this system. So it's the station managers that are responsible for updating the information here. And station managers are often busy, so sometimes they are not updating information as frequently as we would like to. So that means that you should also take the information here with a bit of caution, and always reach out to station managers to be sure that your scientific aim is fitting with the research infrastructure you want to go to. But now to the more exciting stuff. This is a landing page of POLARIN GIS where you see a short description. You can also click about here and get more detailed description of the history of the system, how it has been developed. There are useful links in the down right-hand corner to POLARIN GIS Data Management Plan and POLARIN GIS GDPR compliance policy and stuff. But now to the exciting stuff, which is information about the stations. So clicking on the stations page, you're first taking here, this is the Antarctic view, where you see the location of the 11 POLARIN Antarctic stations. And you can then swip the map here to the Arctic, where you see the 27 Arctic research infrastructure, terrestrial research infrastructures in POLARIN. And you can zoom in to the individual station if you want to explore the surroundings sort of in more detail. So this is an example of the Kilpisjärvi biological stations in Finland. And you can see you can actually get down to a level where you see the individual buildings. In some places you're also so lucky, so the satellite coverage here is pretty good, so you can click on that type of layer as well. But back to the Antarctic. What the system also offers for scientists are these filtering functions you see here on the left-hand side. So we have different categories. So for example, climate and altitude. So you have different variables in here you can go into. So if you're, for example, looking for a research station with a mean annual temperature between -10 and -20, you can click here, and the stations in that temperature range are highlighted here on the map. And up here, you can simply remove the filters that you have just added. Then you can look into landscape and environment. So if you, for example, are looking for a station near bird colonies, they are highlighted here. If you need both bird colonies and seal colonies, you can click the two of them, and then you see the red dots are then the stations that have both bird colonies and seal colonies nearby. So you can combine different variables in the system. You can also look for stations with low humidity. So there's really a lot of different variables that you can search for here. Also looking into the facilities and services that are offered. If you have a big group of people and want a big station, you can see where there are stations that can host between 40 to 100 people. But you can also, if you know you're working with something specific and you need a plexiglass workshop, you can also see which stations offer that kind of service at the station. It's only 1 week ago that the Antarctic stations got access to the system. So here there's probably not yet a lot of information about which scientific networks to contribute to. But if you go to the Arctic, it's possible to choose some specific scientific networks. So it could be integrated carbon observing system. And you can see the stations here are highlighted that are providing data using the ICOS protocols. The system also can show which access program are offered. So if we go to the Antarctic again, we can see who is offering transnational access. And we can see all stations except for Vasa station is offering transnational access. That was the physical access, and the remote access, you can see which stations are offering that here. Another functionality we have added is also we have added some thematic background layers. So you can see ice velocity, also the speed of the ice sheet, how fast it's moving. So you can, if you're looking for stations that are close by fast moving glaciers, or you can use that background map. You can also click on sea ice concentration, whatever. And once you have identified a station, you think, this could be interesting. I want to know more about this station. So you can click on the station here and you can go to site information, and then you go to a station display page where you first see the name of the station and a nice photo. Then you have as close as you can get to an address in Antarctica and the station manager names and contact information for the station. And then you have description of station name and owner, location. We have downscaled climate data, so you can see both the temperature and precipitation. And here you can click on the former or earlier the WMO climate normals and compare it to the latest years of data. And you have the possibility of enlarging these if you want to look into this in more detail. So there's also general descriptions of biodiversity, natural environment, history and facilities, general research and databases. And many of the filtering functions, information you can find out here as well. So there's a lot of information about the operation, the type of station, the operational period, who's operating it, which country is responsible, the location, the altitude, above sea level. Yeah, so there's a lot of information from the individual stations you can explore here on the stations display pages. And I think that was a quick tour through the POLARIN GIS. I really hope you take your time to explore it, and the link is available on the POLARIN website as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Elmer. And I think it's really nice, as Veronica said at the beginning, that the POLARIN also looks back on different similar initiatives on transnational access to research infrastructure. And it's really nice to see this close connection with Interact, not only the success it had through the years as a EU project, but now as a non-profit organization, and that this experience being shared and be expanded via POLARIN in Antarctica and other regimes, including the ocean area. So thank you very much, and thank you again to all the presenters, and thank you to everyone who is still with us. And now I would like to enter to the Q&A session. We already have some questions in the chat, and I will start with the first one, and I think probably Vanessa or Hannele or Veronica can answer that. Jaroslaw, he's asking if it's possible for private-owned vessels that support research to participate in the POLARIN program.
I think I will take it. I will take the answer in this question. So you mean to provide? I guess you mean to offer the vessel as a platform, right? As a ship of opportunity. So currently in POLARIN, we do not have a ship and platform of opportunity program. Actually, we offer Le Commandant Charcot, but it's part of the consortium. We had that before, and what we are habilitating in our website is a place where we can, because we have other offers from other companies that would like to offer their vessels for this kind of opportunity, ship of opportunity program. So we will habilitate a section on the resources very soon with with this kind of announcements or routes of other vessels and a contact person that can be, but that will be out of POLARIN, and of course then the travel has to be financed by the applicants to these infrastructures and without going through POLARIN, unfortunately.
Great, thank you very much. And Jaroslaw, please let us know if you need a follow-up in this answer. And then I will continue with a question that says, if I choose a Chilean base in my group, can I include a Chilean researcher?
I can take this. Yeah, this is in one of the eligibility rules. I think it was eligibility rule 1B, and that states that the user group leader and at least 80% of the users must work in countries other than the countries where the legal entity operating the requested infrastructure is based. So this means in practice that 1 in 5 can be from the same country.
Great, thank you for this clarification, Hannele. And I guess this information is also available on our website.
Yes, it's all available in the TA Call website. So that's a good place always to check up these eligibility rules.
Great, thank you very much. Then we're moving forward to, maybe before I move to the other questions, there is a follow-up for Jaroslaw about the question, who can join the POLARIN Consortium? And he put on the chat, yes, I meant offering our vessels as a platform. been doing that since 2021 in Salvert. And thank you, Veronica, for the answer.
So you can send me the information to me directly, and I will make sure that this is in our website very soon. Thank you for the offer, by the way. Excellent.
Thank you, Veronica. Then we're moving forward to another question from Maria de la Fuente, who asks if there is a way to access planned or visible vessel transits to evaluate whether our proposed study site can be accommodated.
And take that. Yeah, this information on the cruises, for example, is available on the research websites that is hosted under the POLARIN main website. So the information is available there. And also on this TA call page, there is like concise routes of vessels. But we also recommend, in addition, is to always contact the research infrastructure operator to ask if you think, if you have like any specific logistic so they can really best answer your questions and to make sure that kind of your planned research is feasible to be done at that research infrastructure.
Great, thank you very much, Hannele. Moving forward, another question from Maria de la Fuente. Are there logistical constraints that they should be aware of when planning what equipment to bring, such as size, power requirements, or costume shipping issues?
Yeah, I think this is a little bit what I already explained, that, yeah, if you are contacting the research infrastructure operator, then you will learn about these possible constraints and kind of hindrances, or what is possible and what is not. And of course, POLARIN GIS already provides a lot of information, so you can start from checking there.
Thank you very much, Hannele. Moving forward, we have a question for Elmer and POLARIN GIS from Jaroslaw, who asks if POLARIN GIS will only provide research stations or other infrastructures as well.
What we have promised in the POLARIN project is only the terrestrial research stations. But we will have a look once we are happy with POLARIN GIS and fix the last bits and pieces. Then we'll see how much of a budget we have left. And if there are sufficient funds, we are talking about adding marine vessels as well to the system. But it's a question of resources, and it's an added bonus if we can do it.
Thank you very much, Elmer. Then we have another question who asks, as a research fellow on a fixed-term contract, will they be eligible to apply for this call?
Sorry, I take it. Sorry, my dog is barking. Yes. So of course you can apply even if you are the important thing is that that whenever you are implementing the access, that you still have a contract, because you need to be employed at an institution when you are accessing the infrastructures. Because of insurance, of course, you need to be covered. Other than that, you don't need to be permanent. You can be even a PhD student or whatever the contract you have. It's okay.
Maybe, Veronica, follow up with that. If someone applies under one affiliation and then they go under the other affiliation, if the new affiliation has no problem on executing the program, is there a condition from POLARIN?
The only condition is that the new institution has to fit as well with the eligibility criteria, which is about the nations of the affiliations where you are affiliated and the infrastructure you are visiting. So this is the important thing you need to take into consideration. Feel free to contact us when you have any question like that. Like, I'm based here, but I will move in this time to this other place. I'm still eligible. If you still don't find yourself with the rules, we are happy to answer.
Can I add a little bit? Because during the negotiation phase that I mentioned in my presentation, the user group leader institution will sign an agreement with the POLARIN consortium about implementation of the project that has been granted access. And if that institution is changing, then also that kind of negotiation is kind of repeated, and then that contract has to be signed, the agreement has to be signed with the new institution and the POLARIN consortium.
Thank you very
Other
much.
than that, it's pretty straightforward.
Thank you, Hannele. And since you touched this negotiation phase, would you like to offer a bit more information, what the projects should expect from this phase, how long it lasts?
Yeah, it depends a little bit on the project. Sometimes it can go really fast, and it is basically, to sign this contract, the agreement between the user group leader institution and the POLARIN consortium, and then also some research infrastructures require another second agreement that is made between the user group leader institution and the research infrastructure operator, especially if there's a lot of liability involved in the access implementation, for example, to vessels. It is very expensive, so it's good to have this kind of very secure contracts that are covering all the liability issues and so on. And then the rest of this negotiation is more or less about, agreeing about the practical issues related to the implementation, to confirm the dates of the access, if there needs to be any adjustments in that, and to agree on the travel reimbursement method and so on. So anything, from a couple of weeks, even a week, to several months, that can be the negotiation phase. And we are assisting at the TA coordination at every stage of the process, so no one is left alone to manage this stage.
Great, thank you very much. And the support that the POLARIN project also offers is very important, because the idea is to help researchers focus on the questions, and POLARIN can help with all the operational tasks, so they're very, very important. The last question from the audience, and then I have some questions for the stations, is do postdoctoral researchers as early career researchers need to provide letters of recommendation to apply as group leaders?
Yes, in our regulation, so it's everything in the how to apply section. We ask early career researchers with up to 5 years active in science after last degree to provide 1 to 2 letters of recommendation.
Hannele?
Yeah, I would just only want to remind you that please, you are warmly welcome to join the webinar to the TA applicants on the 18th of September. And there we are going through these questions and many, many more, and really go in detail with these eligibility rules and everything. So you are warmly welcome to join if you're interested in applying.
Yes, but we have one more question that is related to this topic from Leticia. If I've been successful in the first call as a co-PI, can I apply at the second call? And if so, do I have the same chances as others to get funded? And can I apply for access to the same infrastructure? 3 questions in one.
Veronica, do you want to take it or me?
No, whatever you want. I mean, I think you can do, Hannele.
Yeah, it is possible. You are welcome to apply, of course. And if you were not successful in the first call, you have anyhow got this scientific evaluation statement, and so you can kind of learn from that what was the suggestions by the evaluation panel, and how you could possibly improve your proposal to make it more feasible for access. So definitely you can try again, and everyone is on the same line in the new call.
I would like to add that we do not have a co-PI figure in POLARIN. So we only have user group leader, it's only one person. So you might have been participating as a user to this project, but we have only one group leader.
Okay. And thank you.
Sorry, I think the question was for successful. She was successful in the previous call, and she's asking if she can apply again. Of course, you can apply again, but priority is given to people who have not got access to infrastructure previously. And I don't know if you want to add something.
Yes, I want to add that there's also that access limitation that it cannot exceed 90 days at once, so that will be also taken into account. Yeah.
Yes, great. Thank you very much. And now I would like to maybe, I think we answered all the questions. that they're on the chat. There was a comment from Jaroslav that some data spaces are not up to date with infrastructures, and this is correct. Also, some of them, they're also more strict to what they can promote or not. And this is something that also can be can limit the promotion of seeks of opportunities to users. So now I would like to just make an overall question to Niels, Janus, Andrii, and Christina and Andres regarding these opportunities for early careers to start to visit the research infrastructures. Maybe for some of them it will be the first time that they're on the field, or the second or third time. Maybe it's the first time as a PI. So what are your experiences of sharing your research infrastructure with early careers, and what kind of maybe support you can offer to group leaders that they may not have like long years of experience that they on the field? And then after you give this perspective, you have the time, I would like to then turn this question to POLARIN about this training opportunity that they also give to early careers. So who would like to start first?
Shall I answer? So we have a quite high rate, maybe Hannele has the numbers by hand, of early career researchers that have been granted through POLARIN. So we are quite strong and confident that we can provide this this access to early career researchers. It's a good opportunity because we are when you apply the experience that is, of course, you have to present the user, the reader needs to present the CV. We still need to understand that the person is able to do this research. But when it's an early career researcher, we do not evaluate, of course, in the same way as we would do for a very experienced researcher. We need to ensure that you are able to do this research, but we take into consideration that you are an early career researcher and we give you the opportunity. I think about almost 50% actually of our
40%.
users.
Yeah, 40%. So it's pretty good. Very strong representation, I think, from the early career researchers.
Mm-hmm. We are as well giving, so through POLARIN, we are providing training for early career researchers. There is a webinar that took place already earlier this year, and they will be taking place at least once per year. Recordings are available, I think, as well. So you are welcome to see the previous webinar, and we will just follow us in our newsletter, or sign up for the newsletter and check our website, and you will be able to participate in the next one live.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. I think Maria is actually having some technical issues at her side towards the end. So if there's no more questions, there's one more that's just come in. Can an early career scientist who applied to the Interact ECR access in June 2025 also apply again via POLARIN?
Vanessa, do you want to answer this? Or...
Yes, I can answer this, and of course, you can apply also for POLARIN Access. They are separate access programs, so one doesn't interfere with the other. And if you have applied for Interact, doesn't mean that you don't have priority or lower chances for POLARIN. And we are now undertaking the evaluation process of the first call of the Interact Access program. We will have the results ready by the end of the season of the autumn, but unfortunately, I'm not sure they will be sent out before the call is closed. We will try to do it before the end of October, but it might be that you don't have enough time then to prepare the call. So just to be sure, apply also for POLARIN, and then you can see if you get granted for Interact, then you can go with Interact, or otherwise you can get the chance with POLARIN.
Or you can also think it about as a complementary, because they are separate programs and separate entities. So you can use them as a complementary tool as well.
Yes, good point.
Okay, great. And then there's one more question saying, can only one person apply? I think, Veronica, you touched on that previously, that there's sort of one lead.
Is the user group leader is the person who's responsible for the research team or the users, the team of users accessing the infrastructure. And we have only this one figure person because it's the one who will be, or the institution of this person will be the one signing the contracts and managing all the access of all the users. Of course, we need the information as well of the rest of the users, but there is one figure which is the user group leader.
I think Gerusa meant perhaps also that if it's okay if only one person, if the user group is consisting of one person.
Of course,
yes,
of course.
And it is okay, but please take into account that you check from the research infrastructure operator, is it like following the safety regulations, because it is not safe at all places to work alone in the field, and you actually are not allowed to go to the field by yourself. So you need to check that the place is suitable then to work alone in the field conditions. Of course, remote access, no problem.
Okay, well, I don't see any more questions in the Q&A. And so I think I'll take this opportunity to thank everyone for their talks today and for giving us all the information about the different infrastructures and observatories and things that are available in this call. And thank you all for attending and showing an interest in the call that's now open. The call is open until the 30th of October. And just a reminder that there's another webinar on the 18th of September where we'll have more information as well if you have additional questions. And as they said during the talks, if you have any questions about specific infrastructures, please feel free to reach out to the contacts provided of the managers of the infrastructures with specific details that you might need for your application. But with that, I think I'll again thank everyone and wish you all a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.